When you wake up in the morning, what is the very first thought that comes to your mind? Is it about the things you have to do, the obligations waiting for you? Or is it that quiet voice whispering to you about that big goal you keep tucking away in the back of your mind? You see, every one of us has a dream, a vision, a picture of what our life could be if we just stayed focused long enough to make it real. But life has a sneaky way of pulling us off course. Distractions show up dressed as good opportunities. People with small minds try to shrink our big ideas, and doubt camps out in the corners of our minds, whispering that we're not ready, not good enough, not strong enough. And before we know it, days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and those big goals start gathering dust on the shelves of our hearts. But not today. Today, you and I are going to talk about how to lock in on that vision, how to plant your feet so firm in the ground that no storm, no setback, no disappointment can pull you away from what you know you were born to do. Staying focused is not something you stumble upon by accident. It is not about waiting for the perfect moment when the kids are grown, when the bills are paid off, when the timing feels right. Staying focused is about making a decision every single day that your goal is worth more than your excuse. You see, you have to fight for your focus. You have to protect it like it's your most valuable treasure, because that's exactly what it is. Your focus is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, you're drifting. With it, you're unstoppable. People will look at you and wonder how you're able to keep going when life keeps throwing roadblocks in your path. They won't understand that your focus is not something you found. It's something you forged in the fires of your own discipline, your own commitment, your own refusal to settle for less than what you know you deserve. So what does it take to stay focused when the world wants your attention for everything but your own dreams? It takes the courage to say no to good so you can say yes to great. It takes waking up in the morning and setting your intention before the world sets it for you. It takes looking at your schedule and asking yourself, is this moving me closer to my goal or further away? And if the answer is further away, you cut it loose. You make room. You carve out the time, the energy, the space, because you know that you are building something that will outlast the fleeting satisfaction of distractions. Some people won't get it. They'll tell you to lighten up, to take it easy, to come out and play. But you know what they don't know, that while they're playing, you're planting seeds. While they're sleeping, you're sharpening your tools. While they're drifting through the day, you're laying brick by brick the foundation of a life that others will one day call extraordinary. Focus demands sacrifice. It demands discipline. It demands that you stand guard at the door of your mind and refuse to let negative thoughts, unproductive habits, or small-minded people set up camp in your space. It demands that you speak to yourself with words that build you up instead of tear you down. When you start to feel tired, you remind yourself why you started. When you feel like quitting, you remember who's watching you, who's counting on you, who's waiting to be inspired by the fact that you didn't give up when you could have. Because you are not just staying focused for yourself. You are staying focused for the people who need to see that it's possible. For the child in your home who is learning how to dream by watching how you chase yours. For the friend who's lost hope and is secretly watching you, praying you make it so they can believe that maybe they can too. This is bigger than you. It always has been. You have something inside you that the world needs, but the only way you deliver it is by staying the course. Not sometimes, not when you feel like it, every single day, even on the days when you feel like nothing is happening, when progress feels slow, when no one is clapping for you. Because focus is not about applause, it's about impact, it's about vision, it's about refusing to let temporary feelings steal from you the future you are building with every action you take today. Your mind is the command center for your destiny, and you have to guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. Every great achievement begins and ends in the mind. Before the world ever sees your success, you see it first in the theater of your imagination. But here's the problem most people face. They let just anybody walk into that theater. They leave the door wide open for doubt, fear, negativity, and the opinions of people who don't have to live with the consequences of their advice. If you're serious about staying focused and achieving your biggest goals, you have to stand guard at the entrance to your mind like a watchman on duty all night long. You have to decide who and what gets access to the precious real estate of your thoughts, because your thoughts shape your beliefs shape your actions, and your actions shape your future. If you don't protect your mind, distractions and negativity will build a nest there. And before you know it, your energy will be drained and your goals will feel out of reach. Guarding your mind means being intentional about what you feed it every single day. You can't expect to wake up focused and inspired if you spend your nights consuming gossip, junk TV, or scrolling through endless social media feeds that do nothing but make you compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You have to feed your mind with ideas that stretch you, stories that uplift you, information that equips you to grow stronger and sharper. Read books that challenge your thinking. Listen to voices that remind you of what's possible. Surround yourself with conversations that spark new possibilities instead of recycling old limitations. Your environment is an extension of your mind. If you want clarity in your thinking, create order in your surroundings. Clutter around you becomes clutter inside you. It becomes noise that distracts you from your focus. Take a look at where you spend your time. Is your workspace a breeding ground for chaos, or is it designed to keep you locked in on what matters? Are you holding on to things you don't need, people you've outgrown, habits that sabotage your focus? Sometimes the hardest thing to do is let go of what's familiar, so you can reach for what's necessary. But you can't guard your mind and still let your environment pull you backwards. Pay attention to the people you allow into your mental space. Some people are like seeds, they help you grow. Others are like weeds, they choke the life out of your dreams if you let them stay too long. There are people who will lift you up when your vision gets heavy, and there are people who will hand you stones to weigh you down even more. You can't afford to keep everyone close just because you've always known them. Loyalty has its place, but so does your purpose. If they're not speaking life into you, if they're not helping you stay focused, if they drain your energy every time they come around, you need to create distance. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It means you love your future more. Guarding your mind also means protecting it from your own old patterns. Sometimes the greatest threat to your focus isn't out there, it's inside. It's the voice that tells you to take it easy when you know you need to push. It's the temptation to slip back into procrastination, to choose comfort over commitment, to settle for familiar excuses instead of unfamiliar progress. You have to become aware of your own mental traps. Notice when you start talking yourself out of your next level. Catch yourself when you're drifting back to habits that never served you in the first place. Remind yourself every day that your mind works for you. You don't work for it. You are the master, not the servant. You have to train your mind like an athlete trains their body. Feed it strong, healthy thoughts. Exercise it with new ideas. Rest it when it needs rest, so you don't burn out. Celebrate small wins so it stays motivated. And when you fall off track, don't beat yourself up, redirect. That's how you stay sharp. That's how you stay in the game long enough to see the results you've been working for. Create rituals that help you reset your mind when life tries to clutter it. Meditate. Write your goals down every morning. Speak affirmations that remind you who you are and what you're capable of. Be ruthless about the media you consume. If it doesn't build you, don't buy it. Be vigilant about the conversations you entertain if they drain you. Don't linger in them. Be mindful about the spaces you spend your time in. If they don't reflect the level you're aiming for, upgrade them. When you guard your mind, you begin to notice how much lighter your spirit feels, how much clearer your direction becomes, how much stronger your focus grows day by day. The distractions don't disappear, but they lose their power. The noise doesn't stop, but it can't penetrate the fortress you've built around your purpose. This is how you start to separate yourself from the masses who drift aimlessly through life, wondering why their dreams never become reality. They think it's luck or talent or timing, but it's none of that. It's the discipline to protect the one thing that controls everything else. Your mind, if you don't know exactly where you're going, you'll end up drifting to places you never wanted to be. Having a crystal clear vision is not just a nice idea. It's the backbone of your focus, your drive, your commitment to keep moving when every part of you wants to quit. Most people walk around with vague wishes floating in their heads. They say things like, I want to be successful, I want to be happy, I want to make more money. But they never sit down to define what that actually looks like. They don't take the time to paint the picture in vivid detail, to see it so clearly in their mind's eye that they can almost touch it. When you don't have that level of clarity, you can't stay focused because you have nothing specific to hold on to when life tries to pull you in every direction. A clear vision is like a lighthouse that guides you through the fog of doubt, the storms of distraction, the rough seas of failure and setbacks. To define a vision, you have to be bold enough to ask yourself, what do I really want? Not what your parents want for you, not what society says you should want, not what your friends are settling for. What do you really want when you strip away the fear, the doubt, the limitations? The opinions. Most people never ask themselves that question honestly because the answer terrifies them. It terrifies them because once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't pretend you don't know anymore. And when you know, you're responsible for it. You're responsible for doing something about it. That's why so many people hide behind vague goals. It gives them permission to drift, to blame circumstances, to keep their dreams in the realm of someday instead of today. Your vision must be specific enough to light a fire in your belly every time you think about it. It must be detailed enough that you can describe it in present tense as if it's already happening. Don't just say you want to be wealthy. How much money do you want to make every month? Don't just say you want to travel. Where do you want to go? Who do you want to take with you? What do you want to see, taste, and feel when you get there? Don't just say you want to help people. Who exactly do you want to help? How many? In what way? Your mind responds to clarity. When you get clear, your mind starts working like a heat, seeking missile, spotting opportunities, filtering out distractions, helping you see connections you would have missed if you were foggy. About your destination, write it down, take it out of your head and put it on paper. There's power in the written word. A written vision has weight. It stares back at you and demands accountability. When it's written, it becomes a contract between you and your future. Revisit it often. Read it out loud. Feel it. Let it get under your skin so deep that no temporary setback can shake it out of you. The clearer you are, the more unstoppable you become, because you can't be easily lured away by things that look good, but don't line up with where you're going. A clear vision gives you the courage to say no. When you don't have one, you say yes to everything. You say yes to people who waste your time. You say yes to distractions disguised as obligations. You say yes to things that keep you busy but not productive. But when you know exactly what you're building, you develop the strength to say no to anything that does not serve that vision. People might not understand it. They might think you're being cold or selfish or too focused. Let them think what they want. This is your life, your purpose, your assignment. Nobody else can see it for you, so you owe no one an explanation for protecting it. Your vision must be bigger than your excuses. It must be so compelling that it pulls you through fatigue, failure, and frustration. On the days you feel like you're not good enough, your vision reminds you why you can't quit. On the days when nobody believes in you, your vision becomes your own cheering section. On the days when nothing seems to be working, your vision whispers, "Keep going. It's not over yet." This is why you must protect it from negativity. Don't share it with small-minded people who will try to poke holes in your dream just because they gave up on theirs. Speak it only to those who have the capacity to hold it with you, to encourage you, to challenge you to keep growing into the person who can carry it. To keep your vision alive, break it down into milestones. Big goals can feel intimidating if you only look at the mountain. But when you divide it into daily, weekly, monthly actions, you start to build momentum. You start to see progress, and progress feeds your belief that this vision is not just possible, it's inevitable. Celebrate small wins along the way. Let each step remind you that you're not where you used to be. The clearer your vision, the more resilient you become, because you know exactly why you're fighting, why you're sacrificing, why you're showing up every day when it would be so much easier to coast through life like everyone else. Discipline is the muscle that turns dreams into reality, and like any muscle, it only grows when you push it beyond what's comfortable. You can have the greatest vision in the world, you can guard your mind fiercely, but without daily discipline, all of it stays locked away as potential that never sees the light of day. Discipline is not something you're born with, it's something you build moment by moment, choice by choice. It's forged in the small decisions that nobody sees, the ones that look insignificant in the moment, but add up over time to shape the course of your entire life. People love to talk about motivation. They want to feel fired up and inspired, but motivation comes and goes like the wind. Discipline is what carries you forward when motivation is nowhere to be found. When you develop daily discipline, you stop negotiating with yourself about whether you feel like it. You decide once, and then you act on that decision every single day. The alarm clock goes off and you get up, not because you want to, but because you said you would. The plan says work out, so you work out, not because you're excited every time, but because you gave your word to your own future. Discipline is about keeping promises to yourself long after the mood you made them in has faded away. It's about proving to yourself over and over that you can be trusted with your own goals, that you are the kind of person who follows through no matter what. Daily discipline starts with structure. Success is not a surprise party. It's planned, scheduled, and protected. Look at your days. Do they reflect your goals, or do they reflect your excuses? Do you wake up with intention, or do you wake up reacting to whatever the world throws at you? If you want to develop unshakable daily discipline, you have to take control of your time. Plan your days the night before. Set clear priorities. Put your big, important tasks first, before distractions can steal your focus and your energy. If it's not scheduled, it won't happen. If it's not protected, it will be hijacked by someone else's agenda. One of the secrets to strong discipline is removing unnecessary choices. Every choice you have to make costs you mental energy, and wasted energy weakens your discipline over time. Simplify your routines. Eat similar meals. Wear clothes that don't take you an hour to pick out. Automate what you can. Create habits and rituals that anchor your day so you're not reinventing the wheel every morning. The more you automate the basics, the more willpower you have left for the things that really matter. Discipline also means doing the hard things first. Procrastination is the enemy of focus, and it grows stronger every time you avoid what you know you need to do. Train yourself to tackle the uncomfortable tasks head on. Make it a point to eat the frog first thing in the morning. Handle the tough call. Write the proposal. Hit the workout. Have the conversation you've been putting off. When you do the hard thing first, you build a sense of momentum and confidence that carries you through the rest of the day. Stay accountable to yourself, but don't stop there. Find ways to stay accountable to others too. Tell someone you trust what you're working on. Share your goals with someone who will challenge you to stay true to your word. When you know someone is watching, rooting for you, or waiting for you to deliver, you tap into a higher level of discipline. But remember, external accountability only works if you back it up with internal accountability. You have to want it for yourself more than you want it for anyone else. Discipline is not about being rigid or joyless. It's about being free. Most people think discipline limits them, but the truth is the opposite. Discipline creates freedom. Freedom from regret, freedom from chaos, freedom from drifting through life hoping things work out. When you're disciplined, you control your time instead of letting time control you. You choose your habits instead of your habits choosing you. You shape your life on purpose instead of living by default. It's easy to be disciplined when everything is going well, when you're seeing results, when the path is clear. The real test is what you do when progress feels slow, when distractions feel tempting, when you're tired, frustrated, or discouraged. That's when daily discipline shows its true power. You keep showing up, you keep putting in the work, you keep your eyes on the long game. Small, consistent actions stacked up day after day turn into results that shock everyone who wasn't paying attention when you were quietly doing the work. Nobody saw. Remind yourself every day that discipline is not something you conquer once. It's a practice you return to over and over. There will be days you slip, days you slack off, days you don't hit the mark. That's part of the process. The key is not perfection, it's consistency. It's getting back up when you fall, tightening your standards when you get sloppy, forgiving yourself quickly so you can refocus on the mission ahead. Discipline is not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. It's about building trust with yourself so strong that you know deep down there is no circumstance, no obstacle, no setback that can break your commitment to becoming the person you said you would be. Everywhere you look, something is fighting for your attention. Notifications light up your phone, emails beg to be opened, social media scrolls never end, and people come knocking on your door with their own emergencies disguised as your responsibilities. If you're not intentional, your focus gets chopped into tiny, useless fragments until the day is gone, and you're left wondering where your time went and why you didn't move an inch closer to your biggest goals. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, You have to get ruthless about eliminating distractions. Not gentle, not casual, ruthless. Because distractions don't knock politely, they barge in and steal the very thing you can't get back. Your time distractions aren't always obvious. Sure, sometimes they look like mindless scrolling, watching shows you've seen 100 times, gossip that goes nowhere. But the most dangerous distractions are the ones that wear a mask of productivity. Busy work that makes you feel like you're getting things done, but actually just keeps you spinning in circles. Meetings that drain your energy but produce nothing. Tasks that keep you occupied but don't move the needle toward your vision. You have to train your mind to ask one question all day long. Is this serving my goal? If the answer is no, it has to go. One of the first steps to eliminating distractions is to know exactly what they are for you. Everyone's distractions look different. For some, it's the constant ding of messages. For others, it's the people who drop by to chat when you're deep in your work. For some, it's the temptation to multitask, to jump from one thing to the next without ever finishing anything meaningful. Identify your distractions like you're studying an enemy. Write them down. Be brutally honest about where your time leaks out of your hands every single day. You can't fight what you refuse to see. Once you know your distractions, create boundaries that protect your focus like a fortress. Turn off notifications that don't matter. Put your phone in another room when you're working on something important. Close tabs you don't need. Block websites that tempt you to waste time. Set specific times to check messages and emails instead of letting them hijack your attention all day long. People may not understand at first. They might think you're being extreme. Let them think what they want. You are not here to please everyone. You are here to get results. Sometimes distractions show up as people. People you love, people you respect, people you care about. But if you let them, they will eat up your time with their demands, complaints, and endless small talk. You have to learn to say no without guilt. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every request is your responsibility to handle. Protect your time like you protect your money, because time is the one thing you can never earn back once it's spent. When you say no to distractions, you're really saying yes to your purpose. Another powerful way to eliminate distractions is to design an environment that helps you focus. Look around the space where you work. Does it inspire clarity or chaos? Is it organized or cluttered? Is it full of reminders of what you're building or reminders of what you're trying to escape? Clean it up. Clear it out. Surround yourself with tools, words, images, and energy that point you back to your goals. Make your environment work for you, not against you. Learn to guard your peak energy hours fiercely. Everyone has certain times of day when they're naturally more focused, more creative, more productive. Identify yours and protect them like sacred ground. Do your most important work then. Schedule calls, errands, or you tasks for when your energy dips. You don't need more hours in the day. You need to stop wasting your best hours on things that don't matter. Understand that eliminating distractions isn't about cutting out every bit of fun or rest. Rest is not a distraction, it's fuel. Recovery is part of the plan, but scrolling for hours because you're avoiding work you know you need to do is not rest, it's avoidance wearing a costume. Be honest with yourself. There's a difference between recharging and hiding. When you rest, rest fully. When you work, work fully. The clearer you draw that line, the stronger your focus becomes. Sometimes the hardest distractions to cut loose are the ones that live inside your own head. Negative self-talk, old fears, imaginary what-ifs that keep you stuck in place. Those distractions can drain your focus faster than anything outside you ever could. You have to confront them, challenge them, replace them with thoughts that push you forward instead of pulling you back. This is why guarding your mind and having a clear vision are so connected to eliminating distractions. It all works together. You can't stay focused outwardly if you're distracted inwardly. Get comfortable with the fact that some people won't understand your level of commitment. They'll see you skipping parties, turning down extra projects that don't align with your path, protecting your time like a lion protects its cubs, and they'll think you're too intense. Let them think it. One day they'll see what your discipline, focus, and refusal to be distracted has built. And maybe, just maybe, they'll wish they had done the same. You don't get your big goals by being available for every little thing. You get them by being unavailable for the things that don't deserve your energy. You get them by deciding once and for all that your focus is worth more than your impulse to please people, to avoid discomfort, to chase shiny objects that look good but deliver nothing. This is how you reclaim your time, your mind, and your future. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That old saying holds so much truth, especially when you're trying to stay focused and achieve your biggest goals. You can try to grind it out by yourself, but sooner or later, the weight of the journey will start to press down on you. Distractions will get louder, doubt will knock harder. There will be days when you wonder if all the effort is worth it, when you question if you're even cut out for the vision you're carrying. That's when the people around you make all the difference. You need people who remind you of your greatness when you forget. You need people who speak life into your dreams when the noise of the world tries to drown them out. You need people who hold you accountable to the standard you set for yourself when excuses start to sound reasonable purpose. Driven people don't just happen to show up in your life. You attract them by becoming one yourself, like attracts like. When you're serious about your vision, when you carry yourself with intention, when you show up with discipline and integrity, people who share that same spirit recognize it. They're drawn to your energy because they see themselves in you. The flip side is true too. When you're sloppy with your goals, when you tolerate excuses, when you let negative talk rule your conversations, you attract people who feed that same energy. If you want to surround yourself with purpose-driven people, start by being one. Take inventory of your circle. Who has your ear has your future. Are the people around you building you up or tearing you down? Do they challenge you to be better, or do they keep you comfortable in your excuses? Some people love you but will never push you because pushing you would force them to look at their own lack of progress. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to outgrow people you care about. It doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means you stop giving them front row seats to your life. If they're not contributing to your growth, seek out people who think bigger than you do. People who have been where you want to go or are on their way there. Be willing to be the small fish in the big pond. That's where growth happens. Sit in rooms that stretch you, where your excuses don't hold up, where you're inspired to raise your game just to keep up. Iron sharpens iron, but you can't get sharpened if you're always the sharpest one in the room. Having the right people around you keeps your vision alive on the days it wants to die. Sometimes all it takes is one conversation with the right person to remind you why you started. A word of encouragement at the right moment can flip your whole mindset. A tough truth from someone who cares enough not to sugarcoat things can pull you back on track when you're drifting. Don't underestimate the power of community when you're building something bigger than yourself. Make sure you're not just taking from your circle, but pouring back into it too. Purpose-driven relationships are not one-way streets. Show up for people the way you want them to show up for you. Celebrate their wins. Stand with them in their battles. Speak possibility into their dreams. A strong circle is built on mutual respect, mutual growth, and mutual accountability. It's a bond that says, I won't let you settle because I know what's inside you, and I expect you to hold me to the same standard. Sometimes you have to actively look for your people. They might not be in your family. They might not be in your current group of friends. They might be at events, in mastermind groups, in books, in podcasts, in online communities. Stay open, stay intentional. Be bold enough to introduce yourself, ask questions, offer value. If you can't find a table to sit at, build your own table and invite people who share your mindset and hunger for more. Protect your circle fiercely. One negative voice can poison the well. One chronic complainer can drain the energy of 10 inspired dreamers. Be quick to spot that energy and quicker to distance yourself from it. This doesn't mean you become arrogant or look down on people. It means you value your focus too much to let just anybody have access to it. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table just because they're friendly or familiar. Access must be earned and protected. Your environment includes what you consume, not just who you spend time with. Fill your mind with the voices of people who stretch you even if you never meet them in person. Read books by people who have done what you want to do. Listen to podcasts that fuel your belief and challenge your thinking. Watch interviews, study stories, find mentors near or far. Let their words feed your courage and expand your sense of what's possible. Your goals need roots, and they need wings. The right people give you both. They help you stay grounded in discipline and truth, while lifting you high enough to see possibilities you can't see alone. They remind you that you're not crazy for wanting more, that you're not alone in the fight, that your dreams are worth the sacrifices you're making. And sometimes they hold your vision for you when life tries to knock it out of your hands.